Cool. There we go. No, what did I do? Oh no! Okay. I know what I did. I need to get my camera back. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna temporarily disable this, use snap camera. And then okay. So now that I have that, this should be able to take it back. Oh, I need to set this as snap camera. So this will have to use the snap camera. And we'll have a profile, so we'll create a new profile for it. Oh no, where did that go? Let's see. I have access to it in here. I don't. Okay. So there's a file. Okay, I'm gonna have to. No. Take me to where you are. Open in path. Open in reveal and file explorer. There we go. All right, so under packages, nope. Under Twitch Cam Live. Where is this? Library? No. Nope. Why can't I find this? Core. Streaming asset. Dang it, I just had this. Maybe it's in my recent. Open recent. Here we go. Library package cache. Right. Okay, so earlier I changed that. So now we're gonna add this for snap camera. Windows does not like sharing a camera. So I use the snap camera to sort of delegate ownership. So what we're gonna do is we are going to create a new device snap camera in this webcam profiles that Vuforia uses to determine the texture size of the webcam render texture. And we'll see if that works. We should have access to it now. Through the snap camera, oh perfect. Is this good? It looks a little low quality. Let's see. Alright, let's see if this actually looks better in game. Okay, cool. That might be good enough. So then if we go back to our scene, you can see we've got this AR camera, which is looking for this tracker, this picture of a fine young gentleman named Wing Luke, this tracker, and I've got a 3D object on it. So in theory, let's just look at our console and see if we're getting anything. So in theory, when we hit play, we should see me. And then we should see a sphere right here. Well, for some reason it's not detecting it, so let's debug this. So it looks like everything as far as the console is listing. It's all fine, but it's not detecting the image target. So let's see here. What is wrong with it? Am I upside down? There we go. Now I'm right side up. Okay. So there's that. And the image target is not being tracked for whatever reason. Why is that? I unchecked some stuff before doing some debugging. We'll see. Okay, so for some reason it's not detecting the tracker anymore, as it was just 5 minutes ago. And you can see we have the script on the tracker response called show thing, aptly named, that whenever we do find the target, it's supposed to print out fine. So for some reason it's not able to find the target. So let's jump back here and we'll just look at our Vuforia settings. We've already created a AR database of trackers, with the image target being the Wing Luke image. What do we have under here in advance? Okay, that's fine. The only thing I could think of, let me try doing this real quick. I'm gonna undo webcam profiles and just see. Oh, actually, I can double check this in an easier way. If I go to the Vuforia settings, which is under the AR camera, webcam, snap camera, no webcam has been found. So if I switch this back to here, and snap camera, it's still not finding the profile. And so it's saying, yeah, go add it here. So let's go back and look and just make sure that we did this all correctly. Yeah. I don't see anything different in a lot of these. These are the examples of configured webcam profiles. Please enter the name of your camera as shown in the pop-up dialog. 1 second. Okay. I wonder if it's already in here. Let's see. Snap. I put that one. Okay. Device name, snap camera. Is it called anything else? I don't think it is. All the other ones seem to be named the same thing that they are. Yeah. There's the Unity cam. Okay, cool. So just for viewers, so what I want to do is I want to create an augmented experience for my Twitch streamers. So I want them to be able to place things in various places throughout my room. By spending bits or just by going to an API and uploading an image. And so the first thing I need to do is I need to take my webcam and overlay an AR layer in front of it. I need to detect trackers in that same scene. And then I need to overlay a 3D object oriented to the tracker. Oriented to the tracker, and then be able to export that output as a webcam. So that way I can set it as my webcam. So right now we're having a problem because No webcam profile has been found. So maybe what I need to do is I need to close out of Unity and save this and bring it back and let it re-import those assets. So let's open up Unity Hub. We'll reopen my project. Okay, so let's go back here and look at our AR camera, and we'll look at the Vuforia device configuration. Let's see if it says anything different here. Webcam profiles ensure that play mode performs well with your webcam. You can create a custom profile for your camera by editing this file, which I did. Webcam profiles.xml, which I did do. So my theory is that this webcam might be low enough resolution that it that the tracker's not able to work because this image is too fuzzy. So I'm gonna do this 1 second. I am going to disable my snap camera so you won't see me for a second. I'm gonna go back in here and pick a different AR camera. I'm just gonna pick my pure Logitech camera and hit play, and we'll see. There we go. Okay, so the problem is that that snap camera is downsampling the image, and the tracker can't see the wing loop image. So we need to figure out how to get that snap camera up a little bit, because it's definitely not finding it. I wish I could copy this. Do you show up in the console? I wish you would. So let's just see here. Open. I'm gonna go download the .NET Core. I usually don't do development on my Windows PC, but I am, because I found that my Mac is really, really slow when I try to stream and code at the same time. So, is this called something else? I don't understand. Okay. It feels like there's nothing wrong here unless the name here is different than the name that's actually being used. It doesn't appear that it is, though. Okay, so let's look here. Unity project, so it's library, package cache, Vuforia engine. So let's just see if there are any other directories there. There we go. Core, library, package cache, Vuforia engine, Vuforia, editor resources. They should have exposed this somehow. Editor resources, and then webcam profiles. Open with Visual Studio. Oh, no. I know why. I've been using Visual Code because I appreciate it more. And it runs a bit quicker. Okay, so this is the right one. Let's see here. Is there like a... In Unity, is there a... let's do a re-import. Or a refresh. Okay. Well, that doesn't seem to help. Oh good, it doesn't say that error message anymore, so it finally did pick it up. Whatever that re-import refresh finally fixed it. So if I open up Snap Camera again to be my webcam delegator, and I go pick. Okay, so that's correct. All right, which one of you is trying to steal it? Not that. There we go. Just took a little second. All right, there we have it. Okay. So this is probably going to be really imperformant because I'm virtualizing my HD web camera. It's got to run through Snapchat. It's not applying any filters, but it may be doing some special stuff in between there. And then it gets to here and I do some additional processing on top of that. And so my camera is definitely going to be slow. Let's see here. The app you're using with Snap Camera is set to a different resolution. That's fine. So now what I'd like to look at is you may be able to cut Snapchat out of the picture because there's a third-party library that I found called Unity Cam, which creates a virtual camera based on your virtual camera in the Unity scene. So if I go over to the Streamlabs, let's see if this works. If this works, Unity Cam. Hot damn, it did work. It's black right now though, so it's got 0 width or height. So I'm gonna reset the transform just to make sure there's nothing going on there. And then what I'm gonna do is so now that's using that, I'm gonna switch this to use that. And then close down the Snap Camera. Okay, so that's correct. I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna start it back up. Okay, so now this is using the HD Pro webcam outright to render it, grab the frames, overlay the AR over it, and the only thing that's missing is the, we're using the Unity Cam over here, which is the virtual camera that Unity creates, but it does not seem to be appearing. Meshing output. Ah, there we go. We bring this down. I'm just gonna go ahead and flip this for my own selfish reasons. And now you can see that we have Wing Luke sitting there with the ball on his face. And what we want to actually do, we'll shut this down. You may lose me over there on the other side, or I may freeze, which is fine. Because there's no feed coming through Unity. What I want to do now is, so what I did was, with Euphoria, you set up your image target as such. So your image target is an image in a database that the Euphoria subsystem looks for. And when it finds it, so what we've done is we've created an image target, which effectively says, hey, when you see this image, render everything under this. Everything under this game object. So if I wanted to replace Wing Luke with somebody different, and I know that's probably insensitive, what I am going to do is I am going to, let's find a new image. Let's see, who do we have? Who's our viewers? Do we have anybody? Professional grade beginner. Anybody in chat right now who wants to have their picture put up here? Just message and I will, your profile picture, whatever it is. For now, I'm just going to use a random image. What's a good... it's got to be relatively the same size. We can also do some processing on it later, so that way custom images can be cropped. Let's find a picture of him looking really good. I guess we'll just take one of these. I like this one. This is one of my favorites. It's gonna get squished though. I do want to use something that I don't have to process right now. That's not bad. It's about the same size. Okay, so I'm going to save this image to my desktop. And then I'm going to upload it to Vuforia. One of these tabs is the right one. Yeah, so here we go. So we've got a target manager. No, no, Vuforia. Why would you do this now? Okay, so I'll go to my target manager. I've got my Twitch Cam Live project, and I'm going to add a new... Actually, I don't have to add... that was a close one. I don't have to add Nick Cage as a target, because I'm not tracking Nick Cage. What I'm going to do is replace him. Replace Wing Luke with Nick Cage. So all I have to do... This might be whitewashing. I need to be careful with this. You know what? I'm going to find... I don't... I'll do that later. So I'll create a textures folder, open it up, and I'm going to throw Nick Cage into there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the sphere real quick, and I'm going to, underneath this, create a just going to create a plane, I guess, or a quad, because I don't need... Okay, so now I've created a quad. Choosing a standard material, so I'll just create a quick 2D material. Take me inside. So we'll create a material for this. Flat 2D, it's just to render an image. We want a shader to be, I guess a sprite's fine. Default. And then if we go back to our replace, our quad's probably going to be based on the, let's see here. Where are you? Are you a baby quad? Oh, you are a baby quad. Alright, so we need you to lay on your side. So, and then we're going to ask you, can we still do edge? I forget. I was just wondering if we could... Nope, I guess not. Okay, so we'll just scale it up. Wah. We'll scale it up like this. And we'll bring it up this way so it covers all of Mr. Luke. Almost there. There we go. Alright, so now we've got Mr. Luke covered up. We need to apply our new material to Mr. Luke. Not a physics material. I need render material. There we go. Flat 2D. And then on flat 2D, I should be able to see... There we go. I should be able to set... That's not what I wanted. Maybe sprites isn't the right one. unlit, maybe? Unlit texture, there we go. Texture. Mr. Cage. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So in theory, when I hit play, I'm gonna get rid of this sphere over here. When I hit play, Wing Luke is gonna show up for a second and we will be very quickly replaced by Nicolas Cage. So let's see if that's true. All right, so now I've got Nick Cage sitting over there, which is great. So all of this is probably going to be a little bit quicker when I don't have it running in Unity and over here at the same time. But so far this works. This is nice. So I've got Nick Cage there now. So I guess the next part will be I need to be able to dynamically load an image from Unity. Because right now I have to pre-bake the database with Wing Luke in it. Actually, I keep thinking this. I need to separate what are the trackers and what are the replacement images. As for the replacement images, I can load it from anywhere. So let's see here. I wonder what's the best way to do this. So if you're a Twitch viewer and you, for whatever reason, get the rights to set what's going to be there, my app would have to be able to access that code or access that location. So you would need an interface to be able to update an image. Maybe you get a link, I don't know. Or maybe you get a special code whispered to you. And you can take that special code, go to a URL, upload any image that you want, and it would go to a web server somewhere that the app that I'm writing would pull periodically. I don't think that there are a lot of pub sub, Unity pub sub. Yeah, they probably have it internally, but probably not. So we could do polling as a simple mechanism, and we'd want to poll. I wonder if Unity has an S3. Unity S3 SDK. Let's find out. It does. Awesome. I will just reuse my AWS work. No, I just want AWS Mobile SDK. I like how they think that Unity is just mobile. What is the AWS Mobile SDK? It enables... Okay. Oh, they can't run on Android. Or I mean on Windows, which is what I'm using. Or Windows. AWS for Unity. Since we've added support for many AWS services. It should work for both. There's nothing unique about take me to your library. Why don't you link it from here? Why have you not linked it? Why? Oh my gosh. Okay. Take me. Allow me to download this. That's all I'm asking. Is this still running? Okay, cool. Alright. This is the documentation. I would just like to download you. Please allow me to download you. It's the only thing I'm asking of you. Don't hide it. Set it up. Downloading is part of the setup, so this could be. I have an AWS account. I have Unity. There we go. There's sauce. Oh, okay, it's just a zip file. Did it download or does it? There we go. There we go. Oops, there we go. All right, so now we have this zip file. And oh, cool, it's a Unity package. So they've made it super easy, and I just need to initialize it. I'll jump back here. Oh, sorry. The Alt tab on this is different than I'm used to. There we go, now I'm back home. All right, so I'm gonna stop this. You'll stop seeing my camera for a second. And I will, what's next? What's next? I will do import an asset. Oh no, I want to import package, custom package. If I go to downloads, in theory it should be here. It's not showing up. Let's go here. Oh. Thanks for the follow, Airplane Modes Network. How's it going tonight? Oh, look at all these Unity packages. Dang. Okay.
Airplane Modes Network. Hi.
Hi, how are you doing? You have anything fun going on this weird Sunday night before what's a holiday for some people? All right, so we're just gonna pull in the S3 package. I think that should be enough for us. It would be cool if we can get notifications through the same package. Airplane, I'm working on a Twitch augmented reality application that will let me project things onto my room from users in chat, so they can upload whatever content they want, and it's, you know, shows up in my camera behind me. So
Airplane Modes Network. Okay.
I can show you what it does real quick after I import this. So what I've done is I have a picture of Wing Luke, who's a very famous Asian American here in Seattle, and I assume greater than that. And what happens when I hit play is, for better or for worse, whether it's whitewashing or not, replaces Wing Luke with Nick Cage. All right, let's see. And I want you to go full screen. There we go. So there's Nick Cage, and this actually works. If I move the camera around, Nick Cage should for the most part stay in the same spot unless he goes out of camera. Oops. So that's still working, which is good. So that's where the project is now. I put Nick Cage there. I would like to give you the capability to put whatever you want to put there. So that's my next step. I'll leave that up for a while. What I want to do next is I've just imported that package, AWS SDK for the S3. And we'll go back to the documentation, and it says I just need to call this a name. Oh, nice little copy button there. So I'm going to stop this. You won't see me anymore. And I am going to... I'm just going to create a main entry point, and I'm going to add... Ooh. Where? I thought I had a script called main. I do. Why is it not like... Mono behavior. What are you? You appear to be a mono behavior. Yeah, let's jump over to the editor. It's weird. Oh, here, that's why. I see. I renamed the file, did not rename the component, and that's why it wasn't showing up. In Unity. Gets me every time. Take me back to here. That should be back. Okay, so now we should be able to add main. Beautiful. I'm going to go back and edit main. It looks like from start, I'm going to do... Actually, I wonder if it will autocomplete for me. Okay. Do you have like my... Fix this? What's wrong with it? AW. Oh, interesting. Let's go look at that package real quick. What was in that package? I just imported it. I ignored it. AWS SDK. I hate this icon view. I don't know why it defaults to that. Unity initializer. Alright, so it should have access to it. Maybe it's just this. Let's hit play and see what happens. Show me my errors. Okay, let's check the documentation again. Custom package. Use the import. Okay, so let's go back and look at those packages that we imported and make sure I didn't impact like the examples. No, there's only S3. So we can definitely see it in here. I'm going to do another re-import. It seemed like it helped earlier. Re-import all. We're just going to do a rebuild real quick. I've had issues with resources not syncing, like DLLs weren't resyncing. The webcam size preferences weren't resyncing either. So let's just try a re-import of all of our assets real quick and see if that helps. Usually does. I'm not quite sure why we're at that point, but so effectively, so inside of the start, we want to initialize our S3, and let's go ahead and open up S3 on my browser. Let's see if I can remember how to get in there. So if you guys haven't seen the AWS Management Console, it's pretty much how you manage all of your AWS instances from a high-level perspective. It used to be pretty simple, and as they added more technologies, this user interface became this behemoth of like, there's so much stuff now. If we just look at all the services that AWS provides, it's just massive. Yes, I know I have compromised passwords. So I want to look at my S3 bucket. I know that I've used S3 buckets in past programming projects, so I just want to look and see what's in there. Okay, so these are all my prior. Mothership was a game that I worked on. Bookmind was an application I wrote, I don't know, like 6 years ago for public libraries. So I'll create a new bucket, and I'm going to call it Twitch Cam Live. I'll leave it in West because that's where I live. Yeah, I'll block public access. I definitely don't want public access. If you do upload something, I will control the upload of that. Don't want to version the bucket. Don't really need to do that. All of those things fine. I don't need to encrypt it. So this will be a bucket that holds uploaded images that okay, cool. Maybe I'll put it public at some point when I start using the SDK if it's simpler, but for now it'll be private. The bucket and objects do not have any public access. Beautiful. Okay. So let's jump back over to our beautiful... So leave them there. Where's our S3? There we go. So we attach, set the service region. Interesting. The AWS SDK for Unity contains client classes for each AWS service it supports. These clients are configured using a file named awsconfig.xml. The following section describes the most commonly used settings. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and create that. Oh, come on. It's not in here, right? Okay, so I'll just create it out here. And we'll jump back over here. Logging information. Okay, so here's a base one. So we are gonna keep it in West. I think that's what the other one was set to, if I'm not mistaken. Where are you, bucket? Yep, West 2. So whatever that means, I don't know yet, but I'll just keep that setting. Wait, the project that I'm entering. Ignore. Alright, so we'll go back to our tutorial. Not that. Oh, it's still importing random stuff. Working with the link XML file. Oh, that's right, we're re-importing because of the missing reference. Working with the link.xml file. Oh, hi, you're back. Interesting. We'll just do that. Huh, interesting. Let's see, maybe I'm just using this wrong. Ah, there we go. Okay. It was under the Amazon namespace and not the AWS SDK namespace. All right, let's see here. Go back to the XML file. The link.xml file. The SDK uses reflection for platform-specific components. If you're using the IL2 CPP scripting backend, strip bytecode is always enabled on iOS. Okay, so this is defining platform level things. I'm not too worried about this. For now. We'll see. If things start to break, I'll go back and look at that. To use AWS services and mobile applications, you must obtain the identity pool using Amazon Cognito Identity. Private credentials. To get started with Amazon Cognito, you must create an identity pool. An identity pool is a store of user identity data specific to your account. Every identity pool has a configurable IAM roles that allow you to specify which AWS services. Okay, so back in the day, you used to be able to just say, here's my key, access to S3 bucket. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not too concerned about security at this point because it's a bucket of images that people are already going to be messing around with. So I'm going to plow on ahead and just see what the AWS let's see how we use the S3.
Arnold Palmer Lemonade. We love to be messing around.
We do love to be messing around. So create and configure an S3 bucket. We've already done this. We've already okay. So they haven't taught me how to create credentials yet. So let's see. Do any of these talk about credentials? Not yet. So let's see. I skip ahead sometimes because I want to get to the part where I'm actually writing code. Okay, so I will have to go back to create a incognito. Welcome, AP, by the way. I forgot to say hi. How are you doing on this glorious evening? Can I not do wild cards here? There we go. I can just simplify this and doing using Amazon.s3. And what are credentials? Let's find out. Okay, so they are the Cognito AWS credentials. So let's go back to our Cognito identity. So once again, this is going to be our access. I guess we can't circumvent this part like we used to with S3. No. Developer authenticated identities. That's me. Okay. To use Unity. To use developer authenticated identities, you have to extend Cognito AWS credentials and override the refresh identity method to retrieve the user identity ID and token from your backend and return them. This also seems presumptuous that I have a backend. So let's go back. I don't have a backend yet. I should be able to make calls. So let's go back here. Oh, cool. I can look at an example. All right, let's go look at their Cognito sync example. That might make sense of things. Where are you, Unity? There we go. AP, have you seen this run yet? I don't know how long you've been on the stream. You'll see that I'm frozen because I am I'm turning this fine young...
Arnold Palmer Lemonade. Been here 10 minutes.
Okay, well here we go. This is what's happening. But this project is to create augmented reality Twitch, effectively. So how can I leverage my room and allow people in chat to mess with it? I had a couple ideas with more physical interaction, but the idea here is, in its simplest, is we've got my webcam, and then we've got a 3D layer that sits on top of it. So the goal is to make it so that way people in chat can upload the photos that they want to be showing up in my room, and then display that back to them via the camera. So you can see here, if I disable this image target, you can see we used to have our friend Wing Luke there. He's a Asian American, pretty popular in Seattle. And using AR, we can actually replace him in real time. And it actually tracks it whenever there's enough frames per second. In theory, it would track it. There we go. But running this through Streamlabs and Unity at the same time right now and debugging is kind of slowing it down. But whenever it can get to 60 frames per second, it should track that pretty
Arnold Palmer
smoothly.
Lemonade. I wish it was a picture of me.
Hey, if you had joined earlier, I asked chat if anyone wanted their picture up there. If you wanted me to make that happen, you gotta send me one. And that goes for anyone else in chat too. So let's see here. If I go back to here, I was about to open up the AWS examples and look at their...
Arnold Palmer Lemonade. Dick pics from me can't compress enough to send over the internet, you know that.
Well, yeah, that's why no one's ever seen your dick virtually. Only in person. Where are our examples? Let's see, is it over here? No. Grow. Examples. There it is, S3 example. So let's look at this code. S3 example, identity full ID. There's my Cognito region, region endpoint. All right, so let's actually run this scene and just see how it works. It's nice whenever developers give out sample scenes that you can use. All right, let's see what happens when we use this. Okay, so I'm imagining that if I go here to S3, I'm going to need to get an identity pool ID. So I'm going to go back to the tutorial. That was the S3 example. Where are these examples they're talking about? Let's see. Assets, examples, Cognito Seek. I don't believe you! If they were here, I would have found them. Yeah, there's no examples folder here. You liar! Alright, so let's go back to the downloads. It's so interesting. Let's re-import the Unity package. Just to make sure we got it right the first time. Oh, wait. Oh, maybe it's asking us to bring in that too. Cognito Sync. That's what we need to do. Okay. So we'll bring in this as well. So now we've got S3 and the Cognito Sync. This is probably the least interesting part of the project, trying to get Unity connected with AWS, but the payoff is going to be great. And once we have Unity connected to S3, then on the other side, we're probably going to jump over to writing a Python web application that allows us to do the same thing, but to upload images using a web service to S3. And I think we're good here. Are we good here? Okay. So now if we go in here, back to our examples, now we can see our Cognito Sync Manager sample, which should answer all of our questions about everything. So let's go back to our tutorial. To run the sample, click the play button at the top of the editor screen. And it didn't include a camera here. Let's see what it says. When the app runs, it displays a few text boxes. That was deemed a lie. Let's see here. Let's reopen this. What are you telling me can't be null? Are you okay, Unity? You seem to be vomiting errors everywhere. Alright, let's see here. It's Cognito Sync. In the project pane, navigate to... Well, I'm calling bullshit on you, AWS. Alright, let's look back over here at our... Let's import maybe more packages. It's strange that they split out the packages but didn't denote that there were dependencies between packages. And we imported the S3. We imported the Cognito Sync. Let's see what else. Setup. We downloaded that. And I did this, and select the Unity package files you want to use, which I did do. In the importing to package dialog, ensure all items are selected. Alright, I'm just going to select them all. and then we'll sort it out later. Oh, you won't let me select them all. Okay. Right, maybe identity management. Bring in that. Plugins, but no example. Or just the ones you intended to use. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Okay, I'm going to create a new identity pool, as it said at the end of this last one. I'm guessing I'm going to manage identity pools. Twitch Cam Live. Okay, fine. Only spaces, letters, and numbers. Enhanced and basic. Cognito recommends the use of enhanced authentication flow. However, if you still wish to use the basic flow, you can enable it here. I'll take what you... Okay. We'll create this pool. Before you can begin using your new Amazon Cognito identity pool, you must assign one or more IAM roles. Okay. Sure. Beautiful. Yeah, that sounds fine. Let's just separate that out. So, okay, so that's some JSON rule summary. Your authenticated identities would like access to Cognito. So we're going to create a new role with this name. This manages
Arnold Palmer Lemonade. This is all so stupidly complicated.
I know, it used to be so much simpler. It used to be much simpler. It used to be like, hey, here's your key. Here's your key, go have fun. And now they do make it really complicated. Okay, it's still gonna whine that there's no... Oh, it actually worked! Okay. Amazon, I love you. I have no idea what that says. Okay, so let's jump back to our S3 example and see if we can, using the same connection pool ID in US West 2 and US West. Our bucket was, what was it? Twitch Cam Live. Let's just double check that. Sanity check. Twitch Cam Live, that's right. And US West 2. Okay, so let's hit play. So now we can list our buckets. Fetching the buckets. Got exception. Okay, what do we get an exception for? Let's see what it says. You're not going to tell us. Why? I wish this display thing would move. List objects. Host. Okay, so for whatever reason this identity pool ID is not working, so let's go back to the tutorial and see why that is. So last we were here. We did this. So we obtained this identity pool, to enable unauthenticated identities. Create pool to create your identity pool. Click allow to create the 2 default roles associated. So we did all this stuff. We get our pool ID. And then we will jump down to Amazon Incognito Identity. Incognito Sync. It's just going to tell us exactly what these are. And it looks like an S3. So here, this is where we got to last time, and then it says create this with these clients. Yeah, so apparently we created a Cognito identity previously, so let's go look at this code inside of S3 example and see where they create it. There we go. Where do you get used? I want to see where a new one of you is created. They don't create a new version of you. Unless AWS Cognito AWS credentials. Okay. So that makes sense. So if we go back over to here, the Amazon S3 client takes take me to, what do you take? AWS credentials. If we jump back over here, this extends from AWS credentials. So that's exactly what we need. So way back here, this is the sauce right here that we need. Looks like they're doing a little bit of a singleton property, so we'll just steal that because we're dirty thieves. And what? And bring in this library, and then we'll create
Arnold Palmer lemonade. Now we're cooking with gas.
Yes, we are. Slowly but surely. AWS. I'd really like to know. That's not even being used. I'm using Amazon. Maybe it's just under the Amazon namespace. Nope. It's under the Cognito. None of that stuff is what I want. Amazon dot Cognito sync dot one of these libraries has to hold it. Where is AWS credentials? Alright, so let's just dig down. AWS credentials is part of Amazon.runtime. Thank you. You should stop whining. No, this is the wrong. Ah. I want to get back to my main. There we go. There we go. And then they've got this bad boy here. I'm just grabbing our AWS credentials to throw up here as our property. And then we will do what is this string in here? I think it's lowercase. We'll grab the one that we stored, where was it, over here? Oh my god, I'm so used to Max. This is frustrating now. Private string Oh, Cognito identity region. So that's going to be another thing that we need from here. Where are you? Cool, cool, cool. Now we go to S3. What the heck is Cognito identity region? Okay, so it's a public. Okay, so here we've got Cognito identity region, and it's just accessing the hard-coded configuration places. So we are in US West 2. This probably boils down to just a string that lives somewhere. Yeah. And this is probably defined somewhere in code that we don't get to see. Okay, so now we've got all this. Now we need to pass in our credentials. Boom. But actually we want to use that, so that way it builds it if it's not already created. So there we go. So now we've got our main. We start create an S3 client. Now just for gets and shiggles, let's see what our client can do without really looking at the documentation. Let's see. Get bucket list. Can we get the bucket list? Get buckets? No. What can we get? Get bucket policy. Get bucket website. Interesting. Alright, so let's jump back and look at the documentation now that we have, in theory, our Cognito identity set up correctly. Still not 100% convinced that we do. I think our bucket might be protected, but let's see here. So we create our client, and this is how we fetch buckets. Client. We renamed it to client, I guess. List buckets async. Okay. So if we grab this, let's see. Yep. Ooh. Clean this up a little bit. I should really install JetRange Writer on here, which is what I normally do, which has lots of nice tools for auto formatting. I'm sure VS Code does, but I don't know the finger presses. Oh, lots of lambdas here. So I'll bring this in. Align these bad boys. Bring this over. And these over. One more. Okay, so now those are all lined up. We don't have result task. I don't know. So this is now S3 client. New list bucket request, which probably comes from somewhere. Where do you live, list bucket? So let's do using Amazon.s3.util. Might be enough. Nope. List bucket. Okay, so let's go back over here and see if we've got a list bucket request. Beautiful, we do. Where do you live? Amazon runtime. Oh, using namespace Amazon S3.model. Got it. Okay, so just .model. Debug log. Got an exception. And we're going to do response object dot exception so we can see what this thing is. Stack trace. Okay, so let's do. All right, there we go. There's that. So in theory, what this is going to do, when the app starts, when this object is loaded and this component is loaded, we are going to initialize our AWS SDK. We're going to create a client object using our credentials from above with our pool ID, and then we're going to just list out our buckets. So let's see if this works. If this doesn't work, I will go set our bucket to public, and we'll figure out the security concerns later. So let's go back to my project. Oops. Scenes. Sample scene. All right, let's bring it back. I have compiler errors. Okay, missing a reference to region endpoint. What happened here? Runtime. Oh, okay. What's the problem? Oh, it's already here. No, this isn't even my code. This is the S3 examples code. Let's just go back and there we go. That was a problem. Okay, not my code, but I messed up their code. Okay, so there's our friend Nick Cage again. So Amazon client exception, no region endpoint or service URL configured. Where were you? So did that logic actually execute? Our main. Let's see. Oh wait, did I not? Nope, it's all selected.
Arnold Palmer Lemonade. This is so simple, Cam. I'm surprised you don't have this fixed yet.
Well, it
/s.
is relatively simple, but there's nothing to fix. This is only creation. So everything that I do creates a little bit more, even if it seems like I'm moving slow. Okay, so we've got our bucket, and at some point it fails. So I'm guessing that maybe it fails here. But we'll do some sanity checks. Nope. Starting. Okay, so there we go. So it was complaining that back to this. It was complaining no region or service URL configured. So let's look at, let's stop this. Let's go look at the other project. Let's see how it's using these various pieces of information. This is a list of all of our buckets from the credentials. Is there something that we're missing in the credentials that we need to set? Are there other region endpoint? There we go. Okay, so region endpoint. It's asking for us to pass in a region endpoint. So let's go back and look at the S3 and see how they set their region endpoint. And then how do they use it? So they create it here. Region endpoint. Okay, it's right here. Where do they use those? They They don't use it when they create the client. Is interesting. All right, let's look for it. Let's search and see if they use the S3 region. Okay, so that's there. And then let's look at our code and see. So those are the credentials. They create the client with the credentials and the region. Aha! We are creating the client with just the credentials. And now we'll create it with the region endpoint. Called this. Okay. They seem to separate out the region for the S3 and the region for the Cognito identity region. So I'm going to pull both of these just in case. Because I'm probably going to need them both. Let's bring these guys back and then pass in the S3 region. Even though they're the same, I just want to be consistent. That's not. Underscore. How did I not get the underscore? There we go. Okay. Oh no, I did that backwards. So the credentials want the Cognito identity, the S3 client wants the S3 region. Once again, it's probably moot because they both point to the same region, but just to be consistent and pretend that I know what I'm doing. In theory, this will work. Oh, Unity editor ate shit. All right, come back. There's no. We will now try to find a fix for the crash. Please wait. Status, there's no fix. Please report a bug. For what? So let's open up Unity again. Okay. Any second now. Alright, let's try this again and see if it crashes. Because if it crashes, then something's gone horribly wrong. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. Okay, so we got an exception from our bucket list call. And it's not telling us HTTP error response. There's a lot of stuff here. But it has to do with the incognito model. Okay, so let's go back. And I'm just gonna real quick set our bucket to be accessible publicly. Try one more time. Block public access. Okay, so we're just gonna allow people to do what they will with this bucket. Just real quick, and then we'll run this test again and see if the same thing happens. Okay. Play. Okay, so we get the same runtime exception. The buckets public-private settings were not part of the problem. Configure the signature version. Every interaction with Amazon S3 is either authenticated or anonymous. AWS uses the signature version 4 too. All AWS regions created after 2014 only support signature 4. I don't think that's relevant to me. So let's go back and look at the S3 example and see what they can teach us. Although they got errors as well, but why don't we run their example project and see if that, because if the example project also can't access my bucket, then there is something else going on here with permissions. Examples, S3 examples. So here's S3, these are all correct. That's if we want to write it. So let's go ahead and pull or play this. List buckets. We got an exception. I wish it would tell me what the exception was. So we'll make it because we have access to the source. So let's go in here. We'll list buckets. Okay, so here's that exact call that we're making. Got exception, and it doesn't show the exception. So I am just going to do debug.log and the exception response object dot exception dot message. Let's just do the message. And we'll play this again and just see what we get. So list my buckets. Access denied. Okay. Well, access denied is better than crashing. So let's see here. Let's go look at our ownership. Bucket owner. Everyone. There's got to be a way we can get... Oh god, there are so many services here. Cognito, right? Cognito. Manage identity pools. What can you change? Identity browser. Okay, let's go look at our S3 bucket again. And maybe there's some way to set which Cognito identities can access that. Which can live. Actions. It's already public. Management? No, that's not that type of management. It's gotta be permissions. Alright, so object ownership. No. ACL. Edit. Cores. None of these things are right. Everyone should have access to it, but for some reason they don't. Let's see, is there anything else under Cognito? Let's see. Nope, just the one. Alright, well, I'm starting to run out of steam, so I think I'm going to pause here for tonight. But just as a reminder, we did finish the first part of this project, which was to get Vuforia integrated with our webcam input and then re-export it back out to Twitch, so we can actually see this for real again. If I go to my cam and I actually resize it, you can see Nick Cage up there, our good friend Nick Cage. And if we edit reset the transform, to fit the screen, you can now see we've got our good friend Nick Cage over there. So mission accomplished. So over the next week or so, I'll maybe do another session of this where I stream getting AWS working. Maybe I'll get it working offline since it's not very interesting, and then we'll move on to the next part. So thanks everyone for watching tonight. Thanks Airplane Modes Network for the follow, and AP and Planes. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. So